Teller, got another free play coming your guys' way. Yes, we are coming off a loss, and in my opinion, it was the first legitimate loss we've taken since starting this segment. We now are 5-2. We still are very profitable, but I do apologize about the Bruna Brazil play that I threw your guys' way last week. She absolutely shit the bed. In my opinion, she had some major octagon jitters in her debut. I believe that she was capable of much more, but you guys saw the fight. I mean, she was frozen. Her striking looked horrendous, and we know that she's a much more polished striker than what she showcased. I mean, she was just frozen. It seemed like Israel Adesanya got a hold of her, froze her up like Stella. Denise Gomes, no hesitation, just a savage marching forward, and she got the finish there. So I do apologize for that loss, but let me be very clear. We are still very much in the green. We are 5-2 overall since we started this segment. We're in the plus, and I'm not going to let a loss like that make me hesitate to smash these lines for this upcoming weekend. I got an absolute blowout winner coming at you guys right now in this video. Now, if you guys could, please like this video. You guys know it means a lot to me. Subscribe to the channel. Catch me on all my social media platforms. I got them scrolling below. Catch me on IG and Twitter. Means a lot to me, guys. I promise to continue to pump out this content to you guys if you guys continue to support. If you guys are looking to work with me for my entire slates, reach out to me as well. And if you're looking to sign up for a new sports book, I'll give you guys some added free plays if you guys sign up through my referral link to bovada.lv. All right, guys. So with that all being said, we are going to be talking some MMA bloodline talk here. We're talking about a heavyweight showdown between one of the Tafa brothers. He's making his UFC debut, Junior Tafa. In fact, he's the middle brother of the Tafa brothers. If you didn't know, there's a younger brother that's going to be bursting on the scene in the near future. We know his older brother, Justin Tafa, is coming off a spectacular knockout victory. And then, I mean, what can we say about Mohammed Usman? Mohammed Usman just won the Ultimate Fighter. We know that his brother is one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. One of the greatest welterweight fighters of all time. We're talking about some legitimate MMA bloodlines here between these two fighters. And in my opinion, this is one of the most exciting fights on the card. I'm very excited to talk about it. I see value. Let's talk about this fight.
Welcome to the show. This is the MMA fortune teller. Yeah.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller.
So after taking a loss where he was finished over in the PFL by Brandon Sales, Mohammed Usman has cleaned things up pretty nicely, winning his last 3 fights, starting off with the 2 victories he had on the Ultimate Fighter show, setting up that opportunity to fight to be the winner of that show, where he ended up knocking out Zach Paiuga, becoming the Ultimate Fighter winner. Now, in that finale fight, Usman showed once again that he is a freak athlete and possesses some serious power, even though technically there's a lot of things that need to be worked on. So as Usman tries to continue that win streak going, he'll be welcoming Junior Tafa to the UFC as he looks to make his debut. We already talked about the fact that he is the younger brother of Justin Tafa. Junior Tafa, also a very much refined striker, a fighter that has a good amount of kickboxing experience. He has some pro boxing experience as well, but he only has 4 MMA fights under his belt. Now, in those 4 MMA fights that he participated in, Tafa finished every single one of his opponents. A little bit of lower level competition, if you ask me, and he was really only tested in the grappling department in one of those fights against Nicholas Djurovic. He was taken down for a brief second there, but Tafa, showing that he's been working on his grappling and his get-up game, eventually getting up and then just putting an onslaught on his opponent, finishing him there in the first round. We know the last name Usman carries a lot of weight when you think of the greatness of Kamaru Usman. But what is Mohammed Usman really about? He's a fighter that's 34 years old. He has 10 professional fights under his belt. He's a fighter that obviously hasn't been extremely active. We know that his brother Kamaru Usman was a very decorated wrestler. The same really can't be said about Mohammed Usman. In fact, I believe he was a high school wrestler that eventually got into football and had a little bit of a slow start into the sport of mixed martial arts. Let's talk about some of the recent productivity that Usman has had in the cage. We already talked about the loss that he took over in the PFL against Brandon Sales. He was submitted in that fight, but make no mistake, he was hurt on the feet. And then those big shots that were landed on him eventually set up that submission loss there. Again, showing to have some defensive and really offensive deficiencies. He is tough. He's willing to go toe-to-toe, but that was not the best performance by him. Now, he goes over to the Ultimate Fighter. He gets a victory over Mitchell Sipe. Remember now, though, Sipe hurt him in that fight as well. And then in his next fight on the show against Eduardo Perez, he squeaks by with a split decision victory. Now, we head over to the Ultimate Fighter finale fight that he ended up having a spectacular knockout victory in. Let's be clear, he was being outstruck in a massive way in that fight. He ended up landing that Hail Mary hook. And if you really want to put him to the fire even more so, the technique on that hook was horrendous. But he did showcase just the pure power that he possesses, somehow still dropping Zach Payoga. We know that Zach Payoga really is a light heavyweight fighter as well, but he did showcase the power when he landed on him, but I was not impressed with the technical abilities offensively and defensively in that fight. On the other hand, Junior Tafa is a fighter that shows to be extremely comfortable on the feet. He is very polished with his striking. We already talked about the professional kickboxing experience, the professional boxing experience that he has. He's obviously a man that has participated and practiced in the sport of striking since a very young age. When he's in these deadly firefights on the feet, he has the demeanor of a guy that's just taking a stroll in the park. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. I expect him to see Usman's shots coming from a mile away, and I think that he really will have an edge on the feet. Now, this is the sport of MMA. We're talking about these guys wearing 4-ounce gloves. This is the heavyweight division. There's absolutely no question that he will be facing some serious danger if he gets a little bit too comfortable in there and thinks that this is a kickboxing match and tries to roll with the punches and tries to shell up with his guard. There is a possibility that Usman's gloves will wrap right around his fist and crack the side of his temple. I mean, we have seen this before. We have seen some very decorated kickboxers come over to the sport of MMA and struggle. When you think of Gokhan Saki and a couple of other guys, this is a different sport, and we have to be clear. There's some potential danger if Tafa doesn't understand that. Tafa having that edge on the feet is a great thing. But remember, like we said, this is the sport of MMA, and takedowns are a big part of it. We have not seen Tafa really prove to have competent takedown defense. It's just we haven't seen enough from him. He just started fighting in the sport of MMA. He really hasn't fought any type of high caliber wrestler. Is Mohammed Usman a threat to take him down and somewhat exploit him down there? I think that is a legitimate question for sure. We talked about the fact that Usman was a high school wrestler. He is a stud athlete. Obviously, his brother, Kamaru Usman, is a very polished mixed martial arts wrestler, so he's able to learn under his wing. But that being said, Mohammed Usman has not shown the strategy of looking to push the pace with the grappling in any of his recent fights. I mean, he is a fighter that is really comfortable and willing to strike it out with his opponents. Even when his opponents are getting the better of him, it's like he's just willing to sit there in the pocket and trade until he could eventually land that big shot. When you think about the Zach Payoga fight, we talked about the fact that Zach Payoga was undersized in that fight, and Zach Payoga is not a fighter that's really known for his grappling. Did we see Usman trying to use his size in wrestling to try to catch Payoga off guard? No, not at all. We talked about the fact that he was completely being outstruck in that fight, and he just sat in the pocket and just continuously looked to trade. I think that could be a major mistake against a fighter like Tafa. So how do I see this fight going down? I'll tell you what. I just don't have faith that Mohammed Usman goes into this match with a heavy takedown approach, which I think would be crucial in order for him to get the job done. Besides that, I really haven't seen the ability in the cage for him to really dominate with his wrestling. The few times we have seen him shoot in a match, the takedown attempts were very sloppy. They were very technically unsound. He was very upright with his back as he was shooting in for the legs. They were very telegraphed. And I have a feeling that Tafa should see those coming. Maybe Usman sneaks in one or two, but Tafa has shown that he's working on his get-up game against the cage as well. And if he does get up once or twice, you would expect that the wrestling attempts from Usman will even gas him out more so, where when they get back to the feet, you would really think that Tafa would start to tee off on him. So I'm kind of smelling a knockout victory, a TKO victory for Junior Tafa in this match against the Ultimate Fighter winner in Mohammed Usman. Besides all that, I want to say I'm really digging what the Tafa gang is all about right now. If you don't know, they have a younger brother as well. That the word is he's going to be making his way into the UFC in the near future. I can't think of a lot of other trios of brothers that have fought in the UFC, so that's pretty cool, right? We've seen a lot of brothers doing their things in the UFC. Of course, the Diaz brothers. You think of the Dawkins brothers. I mean, you guys comment below. Hit me up with some brother duos that have fought in the UFC. I mean, there's even some females too, right? The Shevchenko sisters, but not a lot of trios. And if you don't know about the Tafa gang, it seems that these brothers really got that warrior spirit all up in them. They come from a lineage of fighters. I believe their mom was some type of boxer or kickboxer. So you know that the martial arts was sprinkled down to them at an early age. The word is that their father's lineage is very much respected, that their father is really respected where they come from down under, that they got the warrior spirit in them. So these guys are ready for battle. I truly believe that, and I think that you're going to start to hear a lot about the Tafa brothers in the UFC. We already talked about Justin Tafa really causing some chaos as of recently, coming off 2 knockout victories. He just knocked out my old boy there, Porker Porter, slept him there, knocked out Harry Honeysuckle before that. And you know that Justin Tafa is looking for a knockout on the horizon coming forward. And before you know it, the younger brother, I'm sure, will be in the UFC. That's what we're hearing. The younger brother really shows some promise, and you could imagine having 2 older brothers like Junior and Justin. I mean, that's really got to sharpen you up for the fight game. So I'm excited to see him make his debut in the future as well. Now, where's our action for this fight? All right, we got a 4-unit play on Junior Tafa to defeat the Ultimate Fighter winner in Mohammed Usman. Grab that line at -110, essentially a pick'em line. This is going to redeem the Bruna Brazil loss from last week. You guys know I was not happy the way that fight played out. We got another fighter making their UFC debut, but I think that this is going to be a little bit different. Junior Tafa is not the type of guy that's going to shy away from a brawl, from a war. I think that he's going to step down in the octagon and have no hesitation. There'll be no type of octagon jitters. The word was that he did have a little bit of a hand injury a couple weeks back, but that has been fully healed up over the past couple weeks, and his training has been going very well. I think that he steps in to the octagon and he's going to look sharp and he's going to land some big shots in there. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up another free play coming your guys' way. You guys know I'm hungry for a victory here. Let's push the record to 6-2, which you guys know will be a very, very much respected record with these free plays that are coming your guys' way. Please like this video, subscribe, guys. It means a lot to me. I promise the more you guys like these videos, the more the subscriber count goes up, the better the product that I will have to give to you guys, and the more content that I'll have to give to you guys. All right, guys, catch me on my social media. And again, if you guys want to work with me for my entire slate, do not hesitate to reach out to me, whether it's email or DM me on Instagram or Twitter. And also, if you guys are looking to sign up for a new sportsbook in Bovada.lv, reach out to me. I'll give you my referral link. You sign up, you're going to get an added bonus to your account, and I'm going to give you guys my entire slate for UFC Vegas 72, which I have 4 official plays locked in, and I'm expecting an absolute banger of a card. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. On that note, signing out, Teller.
Welcome to the show. This the MMA fortune teller. Yeah.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller.